So let's just go quick background. So Kenyon was doing a show, right? And they was having like what we doing, having conversations, they talking, and Kenyon was known as the enforcer of his era in basketball. Hard-nosed NBA player, don't take no stuff. And they asked him about who else, what are your top five? So he gave his top five. Can't even remember who the top five was. But the person doubled back and was like, well, what about Draymond? He was like, well, I said what I said. You know what I'm saying? Draymond is not on my list. Like Draymond, and I think his triggering for Draymond was like, Draymond not doing nothing to somebody who's going to do something back.
Okay,
you know,
I seen that clip. I didn't see the whole episode, but you giving me context.
Yeah, and so he basically like if he basically said that Draymond's very strategic and who he do stuff with, and if he had came up against somebody like me, Kevin Garnett, and whoever else he had asked, like it wouldn't have been just you just punched me and you just fell to the back or whatever. Like it's just not gonna be that easy. So
I think that's valid for him to say that, honestly.
Draymond doubled down and basically was like, you just wasn't that guy. Like you didn't really provide that much of a championship threat. Like you was an underachiever, basically what he called him. Like you was the number one pick and you barely was an all-star. You didn't go to you went to a couple of NBA finals and you choked in the NBA finals. So Draymond went to trying to diminish Kenyon Martin's career as an individual. And then he also in that same podcast, Draymond Green's own podcast, he went to defend Swaggy P, saying that y'all cracking on Swag, but he was monumental in our run to a championship. He called Swaggy P like a swing player, and he swung a series for us, and that's why we won the championship. And he was like, you couldn't swing a series for your team. That's why you didn't win. So then Kenyon came back with just facts, and he was like, I can name 200 players better than you. You know,
and I seen people getting on him about like, hey man, why ain't you like text this or something? Like he had like a whole notebook or something.
He had a list. You know,
I mean, he was not playing. That man had to sit there and write that down. But that mean he came from the heart with it. He was like, that's like writing some lyrics or some shit. Like he brought up pen and pad.
He went and got him a researcher, and they sat down and pulled up stats. And he talked about the stuff that Draymond did versus what he did. You know what I mean? So, and this is like a quick synopsis. Of course, there was more. Y'all can go dive into what they said. Right. I'm going to just say that you're talking about two people who had two different roles of basketball. They played in two different eras, and in their eras, they had two different roles. So I think like you compare apples to oranges, you know. And Kenyon Martin, straight up. Kenyon Martin was a dog. Don't get me wrong. Like number one pick, Kenyon was an enforcer. He was super athletic, off a broken leg, you know. In his first 2 years in the league, he did help lead his team to the NBA Finals. You know,
straight up.
Kenyon was nice. Like Kenyon had a nice career. He didn't take no stuff. That's not the type of person you would want to try. You know, and he held his own.
I think that's what. Go ahead. But he's probably the best offensive player of the don't take shit. Like Rodman is the don't take shit guy. Udonis Haslem is the don't take shit guy. David West is the don't take shit guy. Right? We got a lot of those. Right?
I think a lot of them is. I feel like Kevin Garnett was a don't take shit. In that era of basketball, all the power forwards was a don't take shit. Ben
But
Wallace.
who I just named, but look at who I just named though. Like when we have our LeBron stopper conversation, right? These are people who the coach is coming to you and he's not telling you to take over a game. You have a specific function. So like in the Miami Heat locker room, right? Udonis Haslem was our, hey, go hurt that guy person, right? And Kenyon, I think Kenyon's point is you rarely are the star if you are that guy. Udonis's job is to protect Dwayne, right? So Draymond's job is to protect Steph. Kenyon, like you just pointed out, like KG, he was a hybrid. He's the star of the team and he's the enforcer. That is why I agree with your apples or oranges thing, because Draymond is not ever going to have to carry the offensive load and lead the team the way Kenyon Martin has had to do. And I mean, I didn't like Kenyon Martin that much when he was kind of in his, like, after them Nets years. He was just saying a lot of random shit in the media and just like, but I felt like his legacy, you know, speaks for itself. If I had to draft one over the other and I only had one of them two to pick with, I'm picking Kmart. I don't know what Draymond looked like away from Steph Curry. Like, I don't know what his skill set looks like without number 30 next to.
This was Kenyon Martin's point. Really, he was like, and where I play, you couldn't play with me. He was like, the people that I had to play against. He said, he basically said, like, you had to say, with your skill set, you would not have been successful in my era of basketball. And everybody is in agreement that my era of basketball has produced the greatest number of power forwards. When you talk about the all-time group of power forwards, I have played with them. That my era produced that. So he's talking about Tim Duncan, Kevin Garnett, Dirk, Paul Gasol, Amari Stoudemire, Chris Webber, Jermaine O'Neal, Elton Brand, Zach Randolph, Antoine Jameson. You got Rasheed Wallace. Karl Malone was at the end of that. Right. You got Kenyon Martin, Carlos Boozers, Antoine Walker. These are some power forwards that you would say are some of the greatest power forwards of all time.
Who really, and you look at somebody like Rasheed Wallace, was really ahead of his time with his play style, with shooting threes and being able to be all around the court.
And I'm in agreement with Draymond. Where Kenyon was like, Draymond wouldn't have been able to do much of nothing with these cats right here. I've got Chris Bosh is in there. Just like, so Kenyon had to battle some all-time greats. Now,
I do like Draymond's point about Swaggy P though. It's weird that he threw him in there and that's where Draymond sometimes his argument with trying to win an argument, his approach to trying to win an argument is sometimes what loses him the argument in my perspective. But I don't know what he threw Swaggy, but I like that he pointed out that it's not just stars, right? It's role players, right? It's role players and swing players that swing a series, right? But I really think that kind of exposed himself. That's him.
No, but he was saying, I'm not a swing player. He was saying, he was saying, like, he kind of tried to compare Kenyon Martin to a swing player. But
I think what he ended up doing, I get that. But the truth is, Kenyon Martin was more instrumental to his final runs than Draymond. Like, I'm not gonna say more. They were equal. So that's what Who's the first option? Who's the first option on the Golden State Warriors?
No, I'm not saying he's the first option. What I'm saying is Draymond is the core. So the core of Golden State is Steph, Clay, and Draymond. The core
but Draymond
on that next. But I'm saying he's a core. He's a.
Is he or is he more? What final series? I think of him more like a swing player, because the truth is, when he was out of that game, that LeBron and the Cavaliers, they didn't even know he was going to be out. They game plan for him to be in, but that was when he described somebody's presence being more like, I can swing a series. I'm not the star, but I can show up, or like my showing up or my not showing up makes a difference. But it's not going to make a difference 5 or 7 games. It's going to make a difference 1 or 2 games. That's a swing player by his definition of how he describes Swaggy P.
And that's not Draymond. Draymond has to show up.
That sound like when I look at and maybe it's just because them Cavs Golden State battles, bro. I'm an Ohioan. But
okay. Take your bias out of it. And I think in terms of this, they do not win. Golden State does not win if Steph doesn't play good. Correct? They don't
Which
win.
Golden State? This version or the Splash Brothers, the championship version.
The championship. The Golden State doesn't
win. They
still
got Clay. No, they got Clay. Draymond. No, if Steph can have an off night, Clay can have an on night, they still gonna win.
No, not one game. If he doesn't play good consistently, they don't win, right?
That hadn't happened, but conceptually, yes, right. That didn't happen during a run. He played all the damn time.
If Clay doesn't play well all the time, they lose, correct? Right? Draymond the same way. Draymond doesn't. If those are the 3 quarters, if your core doesn't play above average on a consistent basis, that team will not win.
Maybe we got you know how you feel about Kawhi. It's not just my bias as the Cavs Golden State that had that Vietnam kind of you bring it up and people be like, oh man, don't bring that shit up again. 4 straight years, people be having flashbacks to that shit.
I'm just saying that Draymond tried to put Kenyon as not a core player on that team, and I'm thinking like. Kenyon Martin was just as much as a core player on the Nets as you was a core player on Golden State. He's not a swing player. This is what that's the point I'm making. Like, I want to say, aside from my bias, I do have an admitted bias against Golden State, but I can look at a team for what they are because I even noticed the difference with how they ran stuff when Mark Jackson had the team versus when Steve Kerr took over. I would say Draymond is like more like a Richard Jefferson. Like on that Nets team, it was Kmart's and Jason Kidd's team. And Richard Jefferson was kind of like the third person that could make an impact. Draymond is the Richard Jefferson. Like I don't see them as equals. To me, Draymond does not impact the offense when you have Steph Curry as your offense. Steph Curry is the offensive system of Golden State. Draymond only makes the screens that he runs off of possible. You could stick anybody in there and do half of what Draymond does. I do think he has a high IQ. I do think he understands and sees the game differently. But half of what Draymond does, 50% of what he does, is getting Steph Curry open. Now, let me ask you something like this. Who in the league does what Draymond does?
Nobody's playing next to Steph.
But
nobody else to just set screens and win 4 championships. I'm not saying that's the only thing he does, but I'm saying his function in their offense is to get Steph handoffs and passes and off the dribble like that. He's Steph's wall.
Without Draymond, Steph doesn't have a good game. They need each other. That's why they stick together. It's a well-oiled machine. Steph Curry is the steering wheel, but Draymond is the gas.
But it was a 3-part machine, right? It was a 3-part machine. When we discussed the Splash Brothers, the Splash Brothers was a thing, right? So if the Splash Brothers was a thing, we gotta look at it like, Steph and Clay were the steering wheel and gas pedal. Draymond was the transmission.
Draymond's always been the gas. The Steph and Clay are the lights, are the bells and whistles. They look cute. They look good, and that's fine. That's cool. That's what they want. But when that gas is gone, and you got to say that Draymond does a lot of stuff that doesn't show up on the stat sheet, which is why he's in the background. But he does, like you said, set the screen and everything else for Steph. He also is on the back line setting up their defense and calling stuff out. He's their quarterback. He's just not their star, but he's their quarterback. Like, Draymond is. I would never undermine the value of what Draymond is to Golden State because of what he does.
50% of what he does. I know he got the high IQ. That's why I say 50%. That's why I said 50% to be fair to his IQ.
It's the stuff that his intangible. It's the stuff you can't market that he brings to the team, which is also his downfall. Because when you go attack somebody like Kenyon Martin, who is up there with points, he scored more 20-point games than you have. He's a scoring guard. He's a scoring point per hour for it. So he has been in a position where he can go out and get 30. Draymond has never been that. There's games where Draymond don't score.
And that's my point. That's my point. That makes him a that's just, to me, that's not a core person, bro. If you can, like Dennis Rodman was, when he went to the Bulls, right? He was expected to agitate. He was expected to set screens. He was expected to, rim run. He was expected to do dirty work, and he could have a 15 rebound, 0-point night, and everybody just looked at his skill set. And even though, he might have some antics, like Draymond got antics, right? The point is still, in a pecking order, is Jordan, Pippen, then Rodman. In the pecking order.
That's part of the core, though, right?
But he's three of the three.
Yeah, he's a part of the core player.
So in the pecking order in the Nets is Jason Kidd and Kenyon Martin.
Yeah, he's a core player.
No, man. Kenyon Martin was like the Clay. Like, if it's 1, 2, 3, Jason Kidd and Steph Curry are both 1. Okay. Number 2 is Clay and Kenyon. And the third most important person on both of them teams was whoever was there before Richard Jefferson and Draymond.
But here's my thing, what I'm trying to say to you. I'm not saying that you're not wrong with how you describe the Nets. I'm saying that Draymond is equally important to those two players. They don't win without Draymond. Let's be clear. They do not win without Draymond.
I just wonder I wonder what they would look like. Like we getting to see Clay without Steph, right? We getting to see what it looks like for the Splash Brothers to be, in separate households. We saw what Steph looked like without Draymond. We ain't never seen Dre without Steph. We ain't never seen what Draymond looked like without Steph.
Yes, we did. We saw that. Dre was Steph. They was all hurt. It was a point in time when Steph and Clay was hurt and Draymond was out there by herself. That's when he had Jordan Poole looking crazy. And then we saw Steph out there without the other two. And Steph was looking crazy. Like, it's a machine. It's just a machine. It's like, it don't work without all three of them. It don't. That's what, you know what I mean? It don't work. That's what I'm saying. They're equally core players.
But you could have took Kenyon Martin off that Nets team and put him on the Knicks, put him anywhere, and he would have still. And it's crazy that Draymond brought up, how he kind of flamed out or whatever, because straight up, that Kobe Shaq era, a lot of people fell short. I felt like the Nets, because remember at that time the Eastern Conference was really about, this is like the pre-LeBron. Everybody was really thinking Reggie Miller was up next, and then here come the Nets.
Yep. The Nets were supposed to be the worst team in the league. Jason Kidd came in and got them boys running. And they put together a run. Kenyon Martin, Richard Jefferson, Kerry Kittles, Jason Kidd, Aaron Williams.
They had good shooting bigs. They had good shooting bigs. It was a different style of it. Yeah.
I think Brian Scott and bringing on that team, but they played a good brand of basketball. They ran the league for 3 years. Until the Pistons came up, and the Pistons took it from them.
So what you think is gonna happen with this Draymond and Ken? Do you think this gonna go anywhere? Like, cause it's like Draymond, he feel free to respond anytime he feel like, cause he got his own platform.
Yeah, I think it's over. I think both of them are arguing mute points. Like I said, I think they're arguing. I think both of them. If you asking me who has more of a point, I think it's Kenyon Martin. Kenyon Martin gave his opinion. I think we all gonna probably agree that Draymond probably would not swing on Kenyon Martin. That doesn't mean that if Kenyon Martin swung on Draymond, that Draymond wouldn't swing back. But that ain't basketball.
Right.
That's fighting. Like, who wants to talk about two dudes fighting about a basketball game? That's like, we could care less.
And
like,
that's why it's just right. The two of them, they already kind of live wires anyway. So it's like you got to.
The both of y'all fight, y'all both get ejected. Then what? All right,
right.
And like, but like Draymond made a point. So like Draymond, like, and this is what happened if that next team played the Golden State team. Did Draymond and Kenyon gonna fight? They gonna both get ejected, but who still has the better team?
Right.
Now what?
Right.
Golden State still gonna win because they got the better team.
That's honestly a crazy like simulation to run. I wonder what that would have been like with who would have had to guard Steph, Jason Kidd guarded Steph. Like,
Draymond and Shaq had that same conversation they was talking about. All right, Draymond, who's gonna check me? We gonna do this, do that. He said, I'm gonna foul you back. I'm gonna hit you back. We gonna both get ejected. He was like, okay, we both get ejected. Now, what's that gonna do for your team?
Right.
Me and you get ejected, now what? Now you got Kobe on the island by himself, but I still got Steph and Clay out there. Shaq was like, you right. So now what?
Right.
I leave. I still got the best shooter of all time, the two best shooters ever to play the game on the court. And I just got rid of the most dominant player ever.
Right.
I'm still liking my team right now.
Now you got to do this.
Like, you're right. Exactly. But them, I think the Kenyon Martin has a point. I look at the talent that he played against. He played against some dogs. He had to hold his own. And he got cooked. But he had to hold his own because he played against some great power forwards.
He might have overachieved. He might have overachieved, honestly. Like, because he also had to deal with, the new
overachieve as a number one pick.
Well, but
maybe
is the number one pick supposed to win a championship? Is the number one? I mean, what is the number one? What does the number one pick guarantee you? Playoffs.
If you get the number one pick, you're supposed to be a franchise-changing player, so you should be in the championship hunt.
And they were. They went to the finals twice.
Right. So I'm not saying overachieve. You got picked to do that.
I'm only saying in his era because of the stuff they had to go through. You talking about the Heat was doing something in the early 2000s.
Not overachieve. He had to play number one pick. You are supposed to be a franchise-changing player. You are supposed to get your team to the finals. You were supposed to do it more than one time. You're supposed to win a championship if you're number one pick. Or put your team in a position to.
So like the Pistons went in 2003. This is like 2001 and 2002 that they went, right?
Yeah. The Pistons won in 2004. So when you talking about the end of the 99, 2000s, that's when they played Shaq in the finals. I think they called Shaq in 99 or in 2000.
It might have been 99 and 2000 because Shaq went 99, 2000, 2001, and in 2002 they man, let me look this shit up.
Bro, so what I'm saying is like Kenyon if you put Draymond with them guys in there, I don't know how Draymond doing against Amari Stoudemire. I don't know how Draymond doing against Tim Duncan. I don't know how Draymond is doing against Rasheed Wallace. I don't know.
He definitely not swinging on Rasheed. He definitely not swinging on Rasheed.
I'm not even talking about the fight. I'm just talking about just the overall just basketball play.
But I think Kenyon's point with all of this was not about Draymond's weakness, because no, he's not weak, but it's about the era of there's not a lot of Rasheed Wallaces available. There's not a lot of KGs available to test. I think that was Kenyon's overall point. Well, I can't say what it was, but I would say that's the takeaway that I would take from it. That's civil. That's not getting into a pissing contest. The straight up thing is Rasheed Wallace is a personality and a persona that don't even like. I mean, we in a league of Dylan Brooks right now. You know what I mean? You don't have somebody that will actually risk fines and all of that to chin check you in front of thousands of people and not care and do it as soon as they come back. Like, you don't have that now. Right. Again, because the league is different. Back then, so I think that was Keith's point. Not that Draymond couldn't, but it's like we don't even have that for him to, you know what I mean? So it's almost like this is I just saw two people square up against, who's Andre Drummond squared up against somebody the other day. I was watching. It's like everybody is so aware that nobody's going to swing. Kenya didn't live that life.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man.
Like I said, I just don't know how Draymond is doing that list or whatever.
We can move to what's the name of Kenya's podcast? It's him. Is Gil's Arena? That's right.
Gil's Arena. Yeah, one of the best. Look, they got nominated. One of the best podcasts out there. Like they go at it. It's hilarious. I've watched a couple of them. I enjoy watching them. So shout out to Gil's Arena. Like, I think they not underrated. It's just a good watch. Like, I truly enjoy them.
Yeah, that could be our next topic. It's so many podcasts, bro. We just talked about 2 podcasters, but now we can just move on to talking about, and that's a subject that, wasn't even possible 10 years ago. Like, the next topic can be just straight up all of these NBA player podcasts, like all of them. Like, it's a lot to choose from.
There's a lot of them, right?
They seem to be more popping up every day. Like, what do you remember this as? Like, what's the first ones you remember? Like, how far back do you remember being able to log on to social media or YouTube and see an NBA player at a desk with a microphone?
I can't. Like, just within the last 5 to 6 years, honestly, you could say when you start seeing like NBA players in their own platform, you've always seen them. Their transformation to network TV, like Jalen Rose, Chauncey Billups, Steve Kerr, Doc Rivers. Like, you can see all of them transition to network TV, but to just say, me and my best friend, who we both play, we about to get on here and tell you the real deal, Holyfield, and actually break down this basketball stuff to y'all and give you the real, true Hollywood stories. But in the last 6 or 7 years, and it got nothing but better. Like I say, Gil done took this to a whole nother level. Jeff Teague and them, they done took theirs to a whole nother level.
One of my favorites. I like them probably way more than,
And I think it got to the point. I'm looking at NBA TV. They used to have like a pregame show and a after show. Mm-hmm. It got to the point where their after show sucks because they got people basically like doing like a podcast from their cribs. They didn't got rid of the whole network in studio guests, which I thought was super entertaining, to some guys who just talking about basketball, kind of like what we doing from their bedroom. And I'm like, their commentary sucks. I actually hate the show. They call it the post up. So if NBC you hear this, that post up crap sucks. Like, bring back the network people in the studio or whatever, because that post up crap is not what's happening.
Or they can hire us. Or they can hire us. They can hire us. Because the crazy thing is, when we start talking about this side of it, right? Like, that's how we started talking is, we both have degrees. We both do marketing. We both have business, at least regional business experience. That would be an amazing opportunity if somebody did hear this. And like, well, look, let me give these guys a shot because, the media product matters. The media product of all of we can have this conversation too when we get back. We're still talking about podcasts, but at one point I want to talk about, when I was 12, I'm sure when you was 12, 13, we couldn't wait to watch the NBA. The average 12, 13, 14-year-old, these boys don't watch these games like that. They are missing a crucial part of their market because it's what you're talking about. It's like they're going the low route. The broadcast part of the NBA, they don't need to be just having somebody sit up with their earbuds in at a microphone. Like, nah, like you said, make a production out of it. Like, put some thought behind it and people will watch more. Because the podcast, you got Podcast P. You got JJ Redick getting a whole coaching job from a podcast. It's like they're not going nowhere. And it's like what you said. The NBA players are using this as a way to empower themselves during their career or post-career. For the platforms, for ESPN and NBA TV to be adopting the same production value, well, you know what? You're going to stick a guy at his desk and put his earbuds in. Like, no, man, like, Spice this shit up a little bit.
That I ain't lying. That shit is whack. I don't know what y'all need to do. Put me on or something. It's whack.
They can hire us to consult. They can, for real. I mean, because and it's not just a gripe. Inside the NBA, I think the reason why people loved it on TNT so much, I see a difference even in the production value with it being on ESPN. The jokes don't really hit the same.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the off-camera shit is different. They're trying to turn Charles into more like a buffoon, really, with the gags and shit.
No, I just think like with the Charles, like he's so comfortable being himself. He wouldn't do anything. I wouldn't do anything. He has a sense of him to where I don't mind being the joke, but my opinion and what I stand for is still 100. So when he's serious. Straight up.
But I feel like ESPN would at least give him the TNT would at least give him the camera. They would, they gonna dump some donuts on him and all that type of stuff. But that man has done a lot, and I actually feel like his episode of Up in Smoke, that's probably one of my favorite. All of these NBA podcasts we talking about, like Stack and Matt's podcast is probably my favorite, and then Jeff's, and then Brian. Man, Steve Nash is just, his personality on camera is just a little like, it's like, I don't know. It's like I bet there's another host of Mind the Podcast. I don't know what that mean. I don't know if he'll ever hear this, but I just once again they can hire us. I'll work with him. I'll get him together because he's too stiff on camera next to somebody like LeBron who just got aura and just sits.
Yeah, super relaxed.
Yeah, personality, all that shit. Like JJ and LeBron, you couldn't help but watch that.
Right.
Steve Nash and LeBron, I feel like he talking to like his principal or some shit.
But moving on, what we got next? We got rid of Draymond and Kenyon. Don't fight. Both of y'all, Kenyon, you ain't hooping. Draymond, you about to be done hooping. When y'all do a show together, it's gonna be great TV.
Right.
That's what's gonna happen.
Part of it, the podcast. Draymond has his own podcast, so both of these people have podcasts, so it might be difficult for them to let it go. It's only November, but hopefully that goes smooth. But speaking of it being November, bro, let's move on to this. God dang. How can we start this? Adam Silver thought of an NBA Cup at a point when, because there was no NBA Cup before the bubble. So this was like, post bubble. How do we keep people watching? How do we get the competition up? I used to not even watch the first 10 games of the NBA season, bro, because it's 82 games. People are still getting the lighting right. You don't even know what team you got for the first 10 games.
Right.
They have changed all of that dynamic with this NBA Cup. All of the damn rules. If we get to discussing the rules, you're gonna have to inform me. The rules about the cup are too complicated. But I know some people win some money. I know that if if your team wins and you got guys on your team who are rookies or 10-day contract guys, this could be like life-changing for them. I support that.
So like you said, the idea was to generate more early season interest, to make it meaningful, And I've watched it a couple of years, and they try to do a couple of things. They got the marketing. They've stolen the idea from like the EuroLeague. We got the cups and these tournaments, these in-season tournaments. Do those? All right, so
I'm glad you went there. Do those players care? Do those players be like, "Well, I'm trying to win the cup"?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Okay. But they don't have as many games as the NBA does, you know what I mean? So it's again, you comparing apples to oranges when you talk about Those are the soccer players more in tune to those cups? Absolutely, they are. But here's the thing. I think, and I think I've seen that the NBA players in the last 2 years have cared about the cup, and you can see it in the gameplay of those games they play to score those Emirates Cup points. Because not only do you have to win the game, but you also have to score a lot of points to get the point differential. That also allows you to win your group. So there's a lot of things that go into it, and you've seen teams like back in the day where if it was a regular season game, if you was blowing somebody out, you'll pull your starters. But now if it's a cup game, you leave your starters in because you need those points. So
you're trying to blow somebody out, and so you're trying to stack up them points. And so, is there any money incentive in the overseas version of cups that you know about? Is there any like a money incentive for an in-season boost of cash?
Absolutely. With them, it's always a championship and a financial incentive. Absolutely.
Okay.
What that is, I don't know. But like for the NBA, they say players on the team they reach the knockout round receives bonuses, but then the championship team receiving the largest prize. So there is money to be made in this tournament, which is the incentive to play harder. It's been since I think they did it this is the third year that they've done it. It's been successful.
Maybe third or fourth. What would you say? Pros and cons. How it's gone so far? What would you say? Pros and cons of how you? Because the fans are on the fence, maybe in my opinion, and my opinion is the complexity of it. What do you think about the pros and cons and all of that?
Well, the pros is it does add extra incentive to make games more competitive. You're going to have teams probably not willing to low manage. You always say that's the so you're gonna get a chance to watch players play, which is what the fans really want, because we want to see the star players play. So that's always that's the end goal. So I can see these star players play. So we had to create a buzz to keep them on the court, and I think you've accomplished that. And then also, I think once it starts going, you're going to start actually seeing teams want to win the championship. I think that when the Lakers won it the first year, they made a big thing about it, even though they clowned it because LeBron did it. Oh, you gonna get a ring for this, a cup for this? I think if you take LeBron out of that equation, any other franchise is going to be happy to claim their franchise as being the first one to win this. Because 30 years down the line, when it's a big thing, they're going to say, I did it first. We're the first franchise to start this off. And especially if I win it multiple times. Now, if you are able to combine it with the NBA championship, I was the best team the entire year. I won the tournament and I won the championship. That's
what? Okay. Yeah, no, you nailed it with that. I think that is the thing that would bring fan acceptance to if the first team that does that will change the narrative. Like what you just said, if somebody can win both 1 year, that might do it. That might hit the fan acceptance.
So when that happens, and don't let it be a great team. Like let OKC do it. They did it last year. Let OKC win the cup, the championship, and have the MVP on their team. You can't call them saying they're probably one of the best teams ever. You know what I mean? They be hanging their hat on that. Like we dominated the entire year. Everything in front of us we took. This was our year. So I think
they ran the table. They won it all. That's like running the whole shit.
I ran this is my year.
Yeah.
I ran it. So I mean, and as you can see, teams are taking it very, very serious. Like they want to win it. Like my Pistons wanted to win it. They got knocked out. Toronto played the other night. They wanted to win that tournament. These teams want to win that cup.
How did y'all get knocked out? And we're still in our cup race, but I don't think Eric's supposed to even care that much. But
yeah, so I got the brackets up. So you guys, Miami, we say you guys, Everybody know Mike is in Miami, and don't ask me why. but so Miami plays. It's the Florida teams. Miami play Orlando, and I think that's why we now that could be lost to Orlando. So Miami and Orlando plays December 9th. You got Toronto and the Knicks play also December 9th. This is the quarterfinals. On the other side, you got OKC and Phoenix. Then you got Lakers and San Antonio.
That's gonna be good. Yeah, y'all beat us last night, bro. Y'all beat us last night, and we needed that. It was an interesting thing because I think both of us had. We got like two. I think we're two behind y'all in the win column, but that game last night was so interesting. I am starting to feel like because this is Tyler Herro's second or third game back, and I just like the ball in Norman Powell's hands more. We haven't talked about the Heat yet, but when we really do, like last night's game, when I looked at the highlights, I'm like, man, like we integrated Tyler. I kind of feel like he shot us out the damn game, bro. Like we had a perfect home record until y'all beat us last night. So,
well, don't switch gears to your Miami. I know you want to talk about them. Let's finish the cup.
Yeah, the cup. For me, I'm glad that we are.
Watches basketball.
No, what was you about to say?
I was like, give me your point about the cup. What do you see when you watched it and you seen it the last 3 years? What is your take?
My take is I feel like players used to play themselves into shape. They would start the season kind of, halfway in shape. I'm not a hooper. I don't, you know what I mean? I can't even imagine what that's like to get your body ready for, starting to play a professional sport at the highest level, right? But prior to the cup, like I'm saying, I didn't even watch the first 10 games of the season, bro. The first 10 to 15 games were like fill-out games for the organization. The first 20 games for the athletes, that was their training camp. I feel like the overall thing that Adam Silver is trying to do is he is pushing like a Euro version of, like they have a younger league there. Like people don't play as long. I think like Luka was playing when he was like 16 in Europe. I feel like the cup is part of them, making it so that you have to get ready faster. They don't want you getting into mid-season form in January. They want you in mid-season form now in November.
Right.
And I feel like, it has made the product better. I feel like dudes used to wait to hoop. I do feel like, you can see which teams care because they be hooping earlier now. Like, November wasn't always good basketball to watch, to tell you the truth.
Right.
So,
and that's the reason why they did it.
Yeah. I'm not mad at the tweaking of things. My only drawback personally is I feel like the rules, even when they try to explain it, even Malika Andrews, when she be trying to explain it, she be like, all right, y'all, bear with me because there's so many rules to who gets past who and all that type of shit. Like, I just wish they would make that a little cleaner. Yeah, because that don't even make sense to me. Y'all have a better record than we do. Y'all just beat us last night, but y'all are out of the cup race, and we're still like second in our cup race.
Because it's about the group. We were, okay, so when you go to the brackets and the grouping, what I said, did I have it up? So when you talk about the East groups, you have a group A and a group B. In group A is the Raptors, Hawks, Cavaliers, Pacers, and Wizards. In Group B, you have Magic, Celtics, Pistons, 76ers, and Nets. Then you have a Group C, the Knicks, Heat, Bucks, Hornets, and Bulls. And you basically got to win your division. So in group play, we're 4-2. So the group play for East Group B, Magic, Celtics, and Pistons are all 4-2. But the Magics have the higher point differential. So they're up. They score 64 more points than everybody else in that group.
Okay.
So that's why they won the group. You know what I mean?
See, y'all offense. Y'all put some numbers on us last night, but y'all offense is not really like about like putting a bunch of points up.
Yeah, and I think, and it's funny, but like I say, because how is it doesn't make any sense. Because now I'm looking at the Knicks in Miami. It got to be because of the point differential. Because the Heat got 49 point differential. The Knicks got a 35 point. Their gameplay in the cup, they 4-3. The Pistons are 4-2.
But what's the Heat and Knicks record though? Look, what's the Heat and Knicks record right now? It got to be very similar.
No, so like the Heat and the Knicks are same at 3-1. No, so I take that back. So look, that's the difference. I'm looking at the wrong thing. I'm sorry. Check. The Pistons are 2-2 in group play. The Heat are 3-1. So that's why they in it. The Knicks are 3-1. The Magics are 4-0. And the Raptors are 4-0. So they're your finals. For the Raptors, Magic, then you got everybody, right, because everybody in the Group B didn't make it. So you know, take that back. The Magic in Group B and the Knicks, but the Knicks and the Heat are in there. How? I don't understand. I'm with you. I don't understand. Because the brackets.
Who even puts these groups together? Like, what decides what group? Because it's not based on region.
Right. So, because you got the Orlando and the Heat versus the Raptors and the Knicks. So, what am I looking at? Magnet.
Or is
Raptors,
that region?
Yeah.
Did they put Pacers? Did they put like all of the Midwest teams? Pacers, Bulls, Pistons, Cavs? Is it regional? Because that's all the Midwest teams. That's where we are.
Yeah. Looking at the East. So in Group A, you got Raptors, Hawks, Cavaliers, Pacers, Wizards. So out of that, the Raptors go. They 4-0. Then you got Group B, Magic, Celtics, Pistons, 76ers, Nets. Out of that group, the Magic went. And you got Group C, Knicks, Heat, Bucks, Hornets, Bulls. Out of that group, the Knicks and the Heat went. So again, you got
geographically that don't even make no sense. I don't know how they putting these groups together.
So the Heat and Orlando's playing each other, and the Knicks and the Raptors. But where's Orlando at? So Orlando and the Knicks, Orlando and the Heat, and the Raptors and the Knicks. So they're my two teams. Magic, Heat, Knicks, Raptors. Because they got the best. They got the best record with the highest point differentials. Yeah, best record.
So this knockout stage is about to happen, and this is part of all how they trying to, outside of the NBA Cup and this new shit that Adam Silver has done. Even since, before, we were here, like the NBA has always done this big, like what I think it's like the Christmas game has always been the big thing. So they always want to kind of wrap up the season around the holidays. Mm-hmm. So is this knockout stage? It seems like is this leading up into the Christmas, that all day game slate that they run?
The final championship is December 16th. So give or take
That's a week before Christmas. And that's why they did this. It's smart. They gonna keep you. We used to only check into the NBA around Christmas. We would watch that Christmas game, watch that MLK Day game, and then kind of lock in from there for the rest of the season. Now they just want you locked in early.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No,
and it's a lot. It's a lot to keep track of.
And again, the entire goal was to combat load management. You got this big TV contract and you don't have players playing. So you need to come up with something to generate interest because you got to satisfy these networks because you got major money. Amazon paid a lot of money. NBC paid a lot of money to get these games on now. So now you had to come up with a way to get us, the casual fan, to watch it.
And then we can't afford to actually watch the games. And me or you have not watched the actual full game in our homes. Probably Nobody can, like, that's the crazy thing. Like, it used to just be you could just get your cable package. I would wait and get Sling and just pay $30, $40 and just have ESPN and TNT and just drop it when I ain't want to watch it no more. It's like that has just, everything is up. And, you know, the TNT thing, I really like the NBC, you know, nostalgia element, but I really think the TNT thing worked. I really feel like we were able to see some of our best years and best basketball recently with LeBron and Steph, with Giannis's rise, with all of the things that the NBA TNT relationship. You know, a lot of NBA fans, ESPN has kind of been like, I watch them when I can. Like, you watch the NBA on TNT, you might mess with the NBA TV product a little bit, and then some ESPN. But now you have to get all of it through ESPN and Amazon.
Yeah, and like even like for us, our local stuff is FanDuel, and but they didn't take that off of my cable subscription. So it's hard to watch your local. But for me, without making my bill go crazy, it's hard for me to watch the Pistons without redoing. And
that's crazy. That's the team that's down the street that you grew up watching, and it cost you to watch it. Like that's.
But also, I haven't been interested in watching because they haven't been this good as of late. So I mean, I'm actually considering like let me see how my package look because I may wanna add that on there now.
Right. It is what it is. That's what. Right. Yeah, as a Heat fan, I still have never been I haven't even been to Florida yet, bro. I've only been to Miami Heat games in Cleveland and Detroit.
Well, we got to make that a project to get you to a Miami Heat game in Miami.
In the actual arena, that would be dope.
We might have to make that a project. Maybe we can see what we can do. Come up with a good
and we open the sponsorship.
Yeah, get Merc to a Miami Heat game.
Hey, I'm with it. I am with it. I will be down there ready to do business. Anybody that's listening to this, I do marketing. I produce Merc+Friends. Is a website that I built to kind of house a lot of my creativity, but then it turned into me building websites for other people, yada yada. But yeah, man, I appreciate that, man. I feel like it's always been, something that we talk about with doing this sports thing, but I feel like the mind that you have for business and sports, I definitely could see, us doing more in this lane. Like this can be the start, but
absolutely.
But yeah, man, absolutely. I think this could be the end of this one. I feel like, this is a good topic run, in the NBA Cup, we right in the middle of it now. So, I'm gonna try to get this episode up and out because we still in the middle of play. We play New York, I think, in a week.
December 9th.
Yeah. So,
and it's not New York. You play Orlando.
Shit. Sometimes they really be having our number, but with this new offense, and that's the other. Yeah, I'm gonna wait. Okay. So here you go. Next week, I'm going to give you. You gave me my Detroit. We're going to give you your Miami. I'm gonna do a deep dive into your Miami Heats. Like it or love it. Go. You might not like it, or you might love it, but I'm gonna give you my full, unbiased deep dive into Miami Heat. There we go.
And I don't want to hear no Heat culture. I'm going strictly on what's in front of me right now.
not you pre arguing.
Yeah. I'll let you know now. It's not about Heat culture. I'm giving you and low key just to get preview. They playing good.
Nah, man.
I'm so hopefully they can hold on for a week and still be good because I'm not giving no Heat culture arguments.
Hey, you know what? The way y'all beat us last night, I'm gonna stay quiet on Heat culture for 24 hours. I'm gonna shut up for 24 hours. So yeah, man, good episode, bro. Good episode.
Yeah, for sure. We'll do it again next week.